Well,
Yeah.
good morning, good morning, good morning. I'm James T. And after the sermon that we had earlier this morning from Mr. Robert Henderson Jr., you know, we're not going to pass the plate, but we're going to ask that you take a look at that cup or plate that you have. And if it's empty, you know what you need to do. It's the Henderson Financial Group. We're doing Understanding Money Part 2 today. And if anybody is just tuning in for the first time or whatever, I want you to go back and listen to what Rob was trying to do in encouraging all of us to realize that I don't care how bad you're doing, how well you think you're doing, there is better. And there's always better. So we want to say welcome. Hey, I'm on WHQT Hot 105 Miami here Monday through well, now Sunday through Friday, I guess I should say, doing a special Sunday show with Southern Soul and classics from 1 until 5. Inviting you to join us Monday through Friday. I'm 10 till 3, and it's Hot 105, 105.1 FM locally. With it being the wrap up of Black History Month, it has been truly exciting for me to see what people are doing, not so much nationally, but locally. We begin to salute people like Robert Henderson, people like Velma Lawrence, people like Bill Dozier, and others for the great work that they're doing in the communities where they live. And I'm doing an event tonight, Robert, with Jane Carnegie.
Oh,
She
yeah.
Yeah, she's going to be saluting. I think it's about 12 people, and these are people who have worked in the community, helped people to change their lives, and I say their names. Sometimes we have to stop for a moment and just say the names of those people that touched our lives or work hard in our community or inspire, and people that that are doing good. Yeah, hey, and what we can do is come in sometime and join hands as well in the work. So anyway, I'm going to let Mr. Henderson introduce himself, and then Robert, I want the topic to be about financial hardship in part 2, but I do want you to do a wrap because of what you did this morning and make it briefly. And we've got to get to that annuity because I've been getting calls almost every day about wanting to learn more about that 32% annuity. Is it too late? All of that. So introduce yourself and let's get started with today's show.
Okay. Today, so Understanding Money Part 2. I'm Robert Henderson Jr. I'm a certified financial planner, certified tax coach, and the president, founder, and CEO of the Henderson Financial Group located here in Miami Lakes, Florida. We service clients all over the country, out of the country, almost in all 50 states. Been doing this for more than 35 years. We love what we do. Our mission is to empower you, and we like to work on your future and the present right now. So whatever we do right now, the cause and effect is going to cause. We're working on your cause because the effect's going to be in the future. Okay, it's going to show up.
You, boy, you wore that out, and I know that you have a full day today. And you said your next stop at 1 o'clock is in the church.
Yes.
I want you to put on a robe when you walk in. I know you say you don't do the tie. I want you to tell them to start singing. I want you to walk down the center of the aisle with a robe. You really had a great message, Rob. And a part of that message was something that I've been hoping that we can discuss a little in depth because with all that people are hearing, all that they're believing, and those words and those ideas that other people give us, it makes us feel like no matter how well we may be doing, we're in financial hardship. I mean, I bet you most people don't even know what inflation is, you know.
That's
So
true. That's
yeah,
true.
right. No, but when you hear, oh, it's inflation, oh, the markets went down because, hey, people, and guess what they say, Rob? They're saying the market went down because people are still spending. now, now wait. Now, if you stop to think about that, well, wait a minute. Wouldn't that be a good thing if people still have money to spend? And they're trying to say, no, 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 no. We got to stop y'all from spending and buying. We don't want y'all buying no homes. And if you do, we're going to jack up the interest rate and all. Come on. Hey, Rob, if you will, explain that inflation attitude that the country has taken. And they're saying that because people are still buying cars and buying homes and doing well, when the feds go back in, they're going to raise the interest rate again.
That's true. They're going to raise it in because, well, the inflation is basically the goods, service, and products are costing more. And, you know, the price of eggs, the price of mayonnaise, you know, the price of everything is the merchants, the shop owners are raising the prices. And usually if someone keeps raising the prices on you, you're supposed to say, no, I ain't going to buy your stuff. But the opposite is happening. People still buying their stuff. And if people keep on buying your stuff, you keep on raising the prices, then you're going to really have a have and a have nots. And that's a problem. You know, the government's got to take care of more poor people because they're getting rid of their money. You know what I'm saying? It's just not to keep some of their money. They spending. The government, like, man, we're gonna have a problem. It's like you eating too much candy. You know, we're gonna have got to go to the dentist. You're gonna have you're gonna have nuggets, or you know, you're gonna have cavities. So stop eating so much sugar. And people just steady doing that. Another thing is that companies, the more companies hire people, the more people spend their money. See, James, you know, money stays on the planet. It just circulates to the rich, the wealthy people, the rich people pockets.
That's the key. That's the key.
And then it's out of alignment. And the poor people, I don't know, man, for some reason, people want to shine artificially, you know, and fake it. And it's an imbalance, you know, and you giving money to make the rich even more richer. And
but see, Rob, Rob, what we got to put in our mind is that the government that wants to take care of those who cannot take care of themselves, it's costing the government more money as well. Because whether it's housing, whether it's food, whether it's healthcare, or whatever it is, if you continue to allow the prices to go up, and as you said, it's not everybody that's continuing to buy, because everybody can't afford to buy some of the things that many other people are buying. And so they're saying, whoa. We want, and we've had this discussion, I'm sure, for the last, probably 20 years about the middle class being totally erased.
That's right. And we get into the haves and the have-nots. And then the government knows that if you have, you know, so many people that don't have, then a revolution, people, they're gonna start coming over the walls, and then a lot of crime is gonna start happening, and chaos. So the government is trying to say, okay, business owners, since you guys continue to raise your prices, what we're gonna do is we're gonna make interest rates higher. And if interest rates higher, people can't buy cars, people can't buy your stuff. And as a matter of fact, if you guys need to buy more cardboard or more supplies, it's going to cost you more, you know, because the bank's going to charge you more. But then the merchants say, well, we just going to pass that cost on to the consumers, because the consumers are stupid and they're going to keep on buying this stuff, paying $10 for a piece of lettuce, you know, and that's what happens. We are the enemy. We found the enemy, and the enemy is us. It's like self policing. And I don't know, James. I mean, let me ask you something. Do you think that if they took off all the stop signs and the traffic lights, do you think that traffic will, now we grown now, do you think that traffic will run smooth if we eliminated all traffic lights?
Now, you know, we're catching hell now with traffic lights. I can't even imagine what it would be like without. Yeah, oh man, people are doing the crazy. Every time I get on the road, I see crazy.
Yes.
There's no time of day, there's no journey that I take that between point A and point B that I don't see crazy. And I don't just see it one time, I see it multiple times.
And the reason why I say traffic light is really an example and a metaphor of how we all grown, and we know we got to stop. You know, I mean, in other words, it's like you ever come up to a four-way stop sign. Now, the principle is supposed to be, if I come up to the four-way stop sign first, and then you come up second, I mean, I'm supposed to go first. There's some people that come, you there, and they come up and they still beat you going. That's how, and they're grown. These are not children. So they won't even regulate. You know you shouldn't be doing that. You know but adults behaving like children. So that's why the government says they have to enforce people and make these rules and make inflation or recessions or high interest rates, because people won't do what they're supposed to do. You have to make them. You know what I mean? It's this whole discipline, this whole and right now they're saying they want to create a recession, and companies are still hiring. And then when they get news that the businesses have hired another 500,000 people, that's bad news, because the government wants less people to have. They want money to not circulate the way it's circulating, which is good for business, but it's bad for the economy.
But wait, Rob. But see, when business and economy comes before people, that's when we should be saying to those people that we select or elect, hey, if you don't get your act together and put us above all of that, hey, your stay is going to be very short. Very short. But we don't do that. And that's why when people talk about, hey, I'm not voting because I'm not going to vote for the lesser of two evils. Okay, so you let evil win. you don't vote because you're not going to vote for the lesser of two evils, but evil still wins because you not voting is a vote. Is a vote. I don't know who gets it, but nevertheless, man, when we look at inflation, when we look at personal finance management, which is what the Henderson Financial Group is all about, bringing your future into the present, Rob, most of the people who are hurting the worst has never, ever, ever had a budget.
No.
Never had a budget.
Don't even know what a budget is. Don't even want to look at a budget.
Rob, but yet and still we want more money. And we think that more money is the answer. But those, as you talked earlier, those bad habits that we have, those bad spending habits that we have, because we believe, hey, the more money I make, the more money I can spend. Yeah. So that's crazy.
But James, you know, when you look at it in its whole totality, how you say most people don't have a budget, and they don't. And more than 60% of people don't even have a financial coach, don't even have anyone that they can talk to. That's a lot of people. Okay. Now, when you look at that, it pairs with people taking care of their personal bodies. I mean, there's a lot of people that do not get a medical checkup. That's like a budget. It really is. I look at it the same metaphorically. From my eyes, I'm a visual learner, visual teacher. If you don't have a budget, it's like never going to the doctor to get a checkup. Never. You just going. You don't know if you got a lump in your chest, or you don't know about your prostate. You don't know about nothing. You ain't been to the doctor in over 10 years. You just running. You don't know if something leaking. You don't know if something is preventative. You don't know. That's the same mindset is if you don't have a budget, if you're not investing. It's closely aligned. It's the same mindset, James. It's the same mindset, man. It really is. You're just going.
Strange you would say that, because a part of what I wanted to say today, it starts with changing our mindset. Because first of all, if you don't know how much you earn and you don't know how much you spend, how in the world can you ever even think about how much you have to invest?
That's right.
You just can't. So it all begins, all of this growth, as you always say, and as we always talk about, it begins with a thought. You know,
yes.
You've got to rethink, you've got to reimagine, and you've got to reinvent. Sister Dupree, I know she's going to smile when she hears that, because Rob, a part of You mentioned in the earlier part of the show that it all starts with a thought. We can close our eyes and open our eyes, and everything that we see, everything came from someone else's thought, imagination, and creation. Everything.
Everything.
And if all that we now see, if we look back, most of this stuff you mentioned in the earlier thing about flat screen TVs, if you're still sitting with the big box TV, you know, I mean, the flat screen TVs are out. They came out. Hey, so before the flat screen TVs, we didn't think about flat screen TVs. So if there's so much that we now know that we did not know, can you imagine what God has created and has on this earth for us to see that we can't even ask for, think of, or imagine?
Hey, Jane, just taking a cue from what you just said. Now, most of us have flat screen TVs, right?
At least, or computers.
Or computers. Now we think this is it.
Oh, come on.
Do you know there's gonna come a time where this flat screen TV,
Will be
flat
obsolete.
screen computer is going to look like the way we look at like a horse and buggy, like the way we look at a beeper right now.
Come on.
What we see right now is going to be a thing of the past. It's going to be considered antiquated, old-fashioned. Our kids will be saying, "This is what y'all was watching? Holy cow! This is what y'all was doing? Oh my God! It's like cavemen." Can you believe that? Now, see, a lot of people can't even forward think and think that. They think where we are right now, this is it. This goes to demonstrate that good, better, best. Wherever you are right now, that's when people say, Rob, how you know? Because that's when I say you see CEOs are still reading right now. That's because they understand that knowledge and wisdom is not stagnant. It is evolving. It is grow. It is continues to grow, and ain't nothing you could do about it, or you're gonna be left behind. We don't have blacksmiths anymore. We just don't. Now, a lot of blacksmiths got mad, but we don't have blacksmiths with jobs and wealthy today. We just don't have them. You know, we don't. And this flat screen TV that we see right now, it's going to be so old-fashioned in the years to come. The TV ain't gonna even look like this. It was holograms. People gonna be James, we was talking to a guy last night that was advanced.
Wasn't that was an awesome conversation we had. Rob, we can't even touch on that here because to Phantom, creating something that you can immerse yourself into.
Can you believe it?
And particularly with AI, because that can become artificial intelligence. I'm telling you, folks, first of all, I don't want anything artificial. But nevertheless, when they create it to the point that you become totally dependent upon it, guess who's in control?
Right.
Robert, when you mentioned about studying today and how the CEOs read, most people believe that once I get a degree, I got it. And yeah, that's all you got is the degree. The world keeps on churning. Hey, we keep on learning. I really do hope that a part of when we do these type of podcasts, that what people do is that they get away from those five senses and know that there's perception, there's intuition, there's imagination, there's reasoning.
But you said a mouthful right there. James, a lot of people have never been told that there is something beyond the five senses. That's James. That's kind of hard to wrap your head around, because most people are enslaved by the five senses, and they don't even know it.
But Rob, that's why, again, reading, and I don't even say reading, man, because I don't read anymore. I have to study. I was gifted a book recently, and I haven't gotten into it because I'm already into a study, working on some goals that you and I are working with. So to quote unquote just read another book, because once I get into that book, I want to study and get what it gives, you know, and even with the biblical thing of realizing, that hey, the laws, not those rules that man make and call them laws, but when you talked about universal laws, the laws that the creator made, it gives us that freedom, one, of recognizing who we are and whose we are, and the greater that is in us. So if you can start with that, you can instantly believe that I can do, no matter how well I'm doing, I can do better. No matter how bad I'm doing, it can be better. So where do I start? The first place that you can start is, hey, make that mindset that I'm going to rid myself of at least one bad habit, and I'm going to replace it with a good habit. Don't just say I'm going to stop doing that. What are you going to replace it with? I remember when one of the president's wives said, say no to drugs. So I went on the air doing our What's on Your Mind program, and I said, now it's good to say no to drugs, but you need to go another step further. What do you say yes to? Because just saying no to drugs and not replacing it with something that is going to be good for you or better for you, hey, you're still in a void. And who wants to be there? So, to all of our listeners out there, you're listening to Understanding Money. This is Understanding Money Part 2. Now, we air usually every Saturday. Sometimes we even have special guests. I'm James T. He's Robert Henderson. And what we try to do is to tell you that you can get to a better place, in your finances, but it all starts with you. Robert has the phrase, we want to bring your future into your present. But to bring that into your present, there's some work that you have to do as well.
That's right.
And Robert gives information on how you can better manage your money. That
That's right.
PFM, personal financial management.
And
Get
that
to
PMA.
it. Ooh, positive mental attitude.
That's
And
right.
and believe me, sometimes you have to almost put these earphones on to block out that NMA.
Negative mental attitude.
Because it's everywhere. It's
Yes, it is.
everywhere, wanting you to believe that this is the best that it is.
Yeah.
Hey, Robert, you brought up about the government, the governor of the state of Florida, wanting to keep you dumb. He
Yeah.
don't want. He said, "Wait." And if Rob, if he would stop for a minute, I used to tell people when someone would question me, and particularly if I was mentoring, I say, write that down. That question that you have, or that statement you just made, write it down. Now, hey, I know you probably, we're going to tell our age about diagramming sentences, but knowing the subject, the verb, the predicate, knowing the prepositional phrase and all of that. No, write it down. Now, what does that really say? Because if I don't want you woke, I want you walking around here asleep
I want to sleep.
so that I can take, as
Advantage.
one of the presidents said, if we can convince them that they're better than black people, we can rob their pockets.
Yep.
Now that was a leader saying that. that was an elected leader saying that.
Isn't that something?
So we definitely don't need to be sleep.
No.
We as a matter of fact, we should take minimum hours in sleeping.
Awaken the sleeping giant, man, because that's our calling to be awakened, to know who we are and who we belong to, where we come from. I mean, that's what we all here to do, is to understand. I was thinking about financial planning and wealth building, and James, you heard me earlier. I don't want people to think that I'm just money hungry, money crazy, but because money is just an effect. It's just an effect. It's the byproduct of something greater. It really is, and it's service. It's a cause. I'm not motivated by money. I'm motivated by what I can do with money. and you know, it gives you more options. You know, you have better choices. It takes off the limitation, because if you, the more money you have, it removes some of the limits that they put on you. Because if you don't have money, there's a lot of strap, there's a lot of shackles, there's a lot of imprisonment. They'll put you in jail if you ain't got no money.
But Rob,
You know what I mean?
Rob, and the greatest thing is, if you do, you can serve, because we know the secret. We know a law that giving is gaining.
Yes.
Give and it shall be given unto you. Full measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. These are principles. Man didn't make that law, but I dare a person to try it. When you can serve others, when you can, first of all, and you did make the comment this morning, Rob, that you must have in order to give. It's almost like what he says, love your neighbor as yourself. That means that you must love yourself first.
That's right. That's right.
Because you can't love me if you don't love you.
That's right. It's impossible. And you're trying to break the laws, but you only break yourself, because you cannot break a law. The law is immutable. It stands, and it stands as test of time. It just is. I mean, you think about King Solomon, the wisest man, said, you know, he asked for not things and stuff. He asked for something that's totally invisible.
Wisdom, knowledge, and understanding.
Isn't that something? You can't even put a price on it, because if you have wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, you're going to get all the, wisdom, knowledge, and understanding is the cause. You're going to get, see, some people would say, that's why I say you don't pray to God for things and stuff. You pray to God for wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, things that you can't even see, things that you don't even know that you don't even know. That's the prayer, because the rest of the stuff is leftover. It's like leftover food, man. You praying for something that's already done. You just can't see it. So you want to be like, see it. And that's why I say financial planning, man, is really, really all about, universal law, the law of giving, law of receiving, the law of attraction, the law of cause and effect, the law of compensation. All these laws right here that most people don't even know exist or don't know how to work them. But if you actually zero in and start studying these invisible laws, man, you will get good prosperity in financial planning, because it has to. It's just automatic. It has to. It's like 1 + 1 does equal 2. It's not going to equal 6. It's just it. It's just mathematical. So if you just says, okay, what is the law of cause and effect? And thing about it is, the laws, they're not racial. They're just, so you can't. They're not. The laws are so good. Well, you don't have an excuse, because the laws do not depend on a mama, a daddy, somebody treating you right. It don't. It just is. It just is. And that's why it's so even. That's why it's so, I would say, just. That's why it's so just and so beautiful. If you want to learn how to be better, you need the ingredients. You need to know how. And it doesn't require a certificate. It don't require a validation from another man or a woman, another human. These laws are invisible laws that are just and precise. And they have been here since the beginning of time. And the creator of the heavens and the universe. So if you want to learn something, like King Solomon, he had it, man. It's like, King Solomon, what do you want? You want all the real estate? You want all the gold? You want the diamonds? What do you want? You want the wealth? He said, no. I want the cause of all that. Give me wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Say, what? That's what you want?
And the Henderson Financial Group can help you. But it's going to start now with a little pain, because you're going to have to look in that mirror. My study this morning was, I'm always studying the book of James, since that's my name. I tell people I'm the book of James, five chapters. Read it. That's who I'm trying to be. I'm working at being that. But it says, looking in the mirror and seeing yourself, Rob, and turning away and not being able to recognize who you really are. Most people are into that mindset. Because they want to see themselves, as you say, with the shiny stuff.
Yeah.
but they don't want to do the preparation that it's going to take of recognizing I'm in debt. Hey, I have bad financial habits. I'm buying those things that I don't have. I'm just doing discretionary spending. I'm forgetting about my needs and putting more priority on my wants. And all of a sudden, I can get what I want, but I'm not feeling well. I'm not sleeping well. I'm not blessing anybody else. I'm not doing and acting on those laws, Rob, that were created not by man, but created by the Creator, that said, if you will do this, you don't have to even know how you're going to be blessed. Know that you will, if you will believe, if you will believe. And of course, when people talk about having faith, you and I know, first thing I asked the person when they started talking about faith, I said, what you doing? Oh no, I'm just believing that God's going to do it. No. Tell me, what if you're believing he is going to, what are you doing? Because faith and works brings that you desire, and it'll go beyond what you desire if you would only do what we're directed to do. Henderson Financial Group, what's that number, Rob?
305-825-1444. 305-825-1444. Website is www.thehendersonfinancialgroup.com. www.thehendersonfinancialgroup. James, when you was talking to him, I said, even though we're saying this and we're saying the golden key, the golden rules, how to navigate to a prosperous, balanced life, in truth, it appears to be simple and easy, and it really is, in terms of once you understand it. But the world that we live in and the system that we live in has stacked the deck against you and using what we all have, and that's our five senses. Now, imagine you're alcoholic and now you want to become sober and you need a job, and the only job available for you is inside a liquor store or a bar. That's the only job available for you, is being a bartender. It pays good money, but you're an alcoholic. In order for you to remain sober, it requires a hell of a lot of commitment and a hell of a lot of discipline, because they didn't just put you in a restaurant, they put you in a bar, and a bartender. So the bar and the bartender metaphorically represents the world, represents the advertisers, represents the peer pressures. You have a choice. No one is going to put a gun to your head. You're going to actually have to have a commitment and discipline. You're going to have to tell your five senses, what you smell, what you see, what you taste, get beside me. Man, in order for you to remain sober. James, do you think people can do it? Do you think they can do it? That's hard, ain't it? And that's hard.
Right,
that's the world. That is the world.
Well, see, and would you have the discipline? Would you have the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding to say, no matter what you're paying me, I'm not going to take that job? Oh, come on, Rob. Can you see again? Telling a person not to drink would be okay. Don't drink, but no, you got to give me something. No, say no to that position. Yeah,
but even if you're superior, you could, James. You could say no, James.
No.
James,
I wouldn't work. I couldn't take that position in the bar, Rob. And I don't drink.
James, you take it every day. You in the world. You in the world, brother.
Yeah, but
you in the world.
But I say, guess what? There's some things I say no to. No, hey, no, 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 no.
You
That
think
that position.
10% is too hard?
Rob, I turned down a position of quote unquote leadership because I knew something they didn't know. And not so much about them, about me. I had made a commitment and a promise to the creator. And hey, you mean to tell me you're gonna turn down a position of leadership, da 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 da, paying more money? Yeah, because you don't what people don't know is that turning that down did not hurt me. It helped me, to be able to do more, to serve more, and to exercise that I had been taught and that I had learned. So to our listeners out there, Rob, we got to deal with this 32% annuity, because if I don't, I'm going to be flooded with calls if you don't get into that today. You gotta.
Okay. Okay.
You got to explain it to them like they're a 6-year-old. No, what you said? Three. Well,
Yeah.
what is it?
Yeah.
3-year-old,
6-year-old, good,
6-year-old.
6-year-old. Okay. All right. So an annuity is, I would say, it's on the same aisle if we was in a grocery store. And if I am a general manager of a grocery store, I'm using metaphors. And you come and you say, I need this. And I say, that's on aisle 12, or you need this, is on aisle 6. You say, I need to put my money somewhere where I don't lose a dime, where it grows, and I can have it for retirement, or I want to put it away, 5, 10 years. But then after that, I want to be able to I want to be able to have it, and I want it to prosper, I want it to grow, and I want to give me income for life. So a lot of people, well, not a lot, but some people are fortunate to have a pension. A pension means you work 20, 30 years or whatever, and now you retired, and they're going to pay you, 80% of your salary. So a firefighter, a police officer, or a correctional officer, or a nurse or a doctor, you get a pension. And the reason why you want a pension is because, like I said, you put in the time, 25, 30 years, and they're going to pay you, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 a month before you got to bed. At least it's automatic. It's automatic. You don't have to do anything. A check is in the mail, or a check's direct deposit, and you like that. The next annuity, they call it pension though, but the next annuity, they call it Social Security. It's when every year, every time you've been working for at least 10 years, it's called 40 quarters. Then, this is FICA, and it's employment tax. So it's different between the gross amount and your net amount, because they have to take out federal taxes when you get paid, and they put money in Social Security. So when you become age 62 minimum, then you can start getting payout for the rest of your life. They'll pay you a certain amount of money, $800, $1,000, depends on how much money you are making. If you was making, $30,000 a year, then your Social Security benefits is not going to pay out a lot. It's going to pay out equivalent to what you're living on, $30,000 a year. If you're making $200,000 a year, you're going to get the tops. You may get $3,000 a month for the rest of your life. And you can start as early as 62. They call it Social Security, but it's a bona fide annuity. Annuity is putting money somewhere for later on that will be there. So when it's time for you to turn on the faucet, say, I want income, you turn it on, and it lasts you for a lifetime. And you don't have to go out and work anymore. So all of us want to have some sort of mechanism, or some strategy where we don't have to go out and labor anymore. We're just getting paid. We're just getting paid. That's a good feeling when you say you're retired. So an annuity, they don't call it pension. They don't call it Social Security. So they call it an annuity. You can put in lump sum, or you can add to it monthly. Here is a company that I've been dealing with for over 15 years. From January 31st, just past 2023, until April 3rd is the cutoff. Anyone that signs up and register for this investment called an annuity, minimum $20,000, they'll match whatever you put in 32%. So if you put in $20,000, if you invest $20,000, they'll give you $6,400 on top of the $20,000. But the thing is, you can't take it out right away, because remember, the whole concept is you're trying to build a pension or a retirement plan for the next 5 or 10 years. So it's not like an ATM machine. You're going to put in 20,000 and next month you want to take out the 6,400 and go shopping. No, it's not that kind of animal. This is for long term. Now, long term for a lot of people is 50 years. Long term for some people is next week. When you're doing financial planning, time go by and you want to plan, you want to put money away where you know that you're not going to lose a penny and you're going to make good returns off of it's going to grow. So they'll give you 32% for every dollar you put in above $20,000 or starting at 20,000. And any money you put in additional $20,000, any money you put on top of that for the next 18 months, they're going to match it another 32%. So the match is only 32%. But throughout the year, on top of that 32% over the next 18 months that you can put money in, it's going to grow probably between 4 and 8%. You don't pay any taxes. It's like being in a crock pot. So, you know, if you want to eat right now and you're hungry and you have put some food, some peas or whatever meat marinated, you can't eat it right now because it got to marinate overnight or 2 days. If you want to eat some, go get some hors d'oeuvres. Okay. But this money right here is put aside. It's like a pension. You can't start a job today and tomorrow get a pension. You got to work 10, 20, 30 years. You can't start today and get Social Security, you know, tomorrow. You got to put in 10 years. So all annuities, pensions, Social Securities require time lapse. So
what is the time lapse for this one, Rob?
Well, this one here, you can put, let's say if you roll over some money from an old retirement job, you got an FRS or you got it in some sort of pension, you can roll your money. You've left that job. You can take that money right now. Let's say you rolled over 300, like one guy rolled over $400,000 from his old company. He retired, rolled over $400,000. 32% of 400,000 is 128,000 new ones. New big money. So they put the 128,000 on top of his 400,000. So that's 528,000. And then he could let it stay, or he can say, okay, next month, since I got a big nest egg, 400 plus they matched and gave me 128,000. I want to start getting income off of it next month. And they'll start paying you just like a Social Security or like pension for the rest of your life. And each year you actually get a cost of living for the most part. It's a possibility that it goes up, whatever they're paying you. So if they're paying you $3,000 a month, then next year you may be making $3,500 a month. That's what this annuity is. Now, I want to restate, the minimum is $20,000, but you can't put this $20,000 in here and next year talking about you want to take it all out. It's not that kind. No, just like you can't be a youngster and start your first job and work for a year and then say, okay, I want to collect Social Security. No, you got to put in at least 10 years of working before you can work Social Security. And Social Security says you got to be at least 62 years old. I'm 64 years old and I still not taking my Social Security. I'm delaying it until age 70 because I'm going to get more. I don't need the money right now. So why should I get it and pay a lot of tax on it? So I'm delaying it. So when you put in money inside of this annuity, you could start it next month, or you can say, just let it marinate like the crock pot for the next 5 years or 10 years. You could, but if you say, no, I need this money now, I'm gonna put in 500,000. I'm gonna roll this money over from another retirement. A lot of people money that's in the stock market. Stock market is very volatile, going up and down. You don't want the up and down anymore. You're tired of looking at your statements. So you got to have at least $20,000 and you can roll it over tax-free, pay no taxes, and put it into this investment and get a bump of 32%. A lot of people portfolios and investments, mutual funds, retirement plans is down 20 and 30% because of the recession and because of stocks have went down. But if you want to recap that money, this insurance company give it all back to you. They give you 32% bump. So if you got $100,000, they're going, as soon as you sign up, they're going to give you 32,000 on top of that 100,000. So now you got 132,000 and you let it stay in there.
Lily Mae says, so if I start with 20,000, I can still contribute 18 months from now?
That's right. Well, no. You got up to 18 months.
Okay.
You got up to, so if you put in, Mrs. Vickers, if you put in 20,000 today, they're going to give you a 32% bump match. So that's 32% times 20,000. That's 6,400. So now your account will be valued at 26,400. You say, oh, I like that. And all of a sudden you want more. Do you have another 20,000? No problem. If you don't have 20,000, you only have 1,000. But you got to get the money in because the 32% match closes in 18 months. The most you can put in is over 18 months. You can't keep putting in you can't put in 5 years from now. No, they only opening the door to get this deal. Once you put the money in, you got 18 months to accumulate and put as much money in there as possible. You got 18 months, then the window gonna close. They're not gonna give you 32% forever. They got 18 months to pack as much jam into that can. You got it. So you got to look for money. Where do I have money? Now, you don't want to put money that you need to you got to get tires for your car. You don't want to put it here. Remember, if you got a pension, you can't, it's not liquid. It's for long term. If you got Social Security, that's for long term. It's for cash flow. That's what kind of money this is. It's different kind of investment. This investment here is a show enough guaranteed principal money. This is what money. And if you, like I said, most people have all their retirement money from the school board or fire department. They have it all in the stock market. They shouldn't. When you retire, your money shouldn't be going up and down and you scared and you looking at it, you done lost money. Roll it over tax-free. Call the office 305-825-1444. It's just paperwork. We'll roll it over to this annuity investment. They'll give you 32% bump, and then you good. You can start getting the income next month, or you can say, okay, I want to get income. I want them to give me guaranteed income 2 years from now, 3 years from now. You could say however you want to, but we'll talk to you about it. That's
and you'll advise. See, going back to what you talked about earlier, that's why we all need a coach.
That's right.
That's right. That's why we all need. I mean, if for those of us who are quote unquote scripture reading, it says multiple counsel. It's great.
That's Robert Henderson. I got a counsel for everything.
Right. Hey, Rob, come on. Hey, what we call Larissa, we call Antonio, Tavares.
That's right.
IC, Linda.
I need them all.
Yeah, right.
Everybody around me gives me some value. Help me to be me. Everybody around me help me to be me. There's a lot of people around me.
Yeah. So Rob, now I'm going to throw this out there. And as you say, we're going to step on some toes. We know that there are people out there that have CDs.
Oh, God. They might as well have a horse and a buggy.
Rob, they got CDs in the bank. And going back to the budgeting, they have never looked at that bank statement to see how much money that their 100,000, 50,000, 20,000, 10,000, how much it has earned for them. But they'll stay in that. Rather than saying, "Oh no, I don't know if I want to." That sounds too good to be true. Well, for you, it is.
That's right.
It's too good to be true for you.
That's true. And the insurance companies, next to God, I want y'all to hear this. Next to the Creator of the heavens and the earth, next to God, because God got all the money, right? We know that. Who's second? Insurance companies, not banks, not banks. Insurance companies. Banks get their money from insurance companies to give you. I'm telling you, y'all don't know what's happening, man. It's secretly banks will borrow money from insurance companies to lend out to you because insurance companies charge them less rate and the banks lend the money to you
and charge you a higher rate.
Give you them credit cards at 29%, 18% credit cards and all that. Oh, Lord, man. That's right. That's what they do. That's where they get the money to lend you. It's just arbitrage. So if you got money in a CD, man, you might as well say you don't want no car. You want a horse and buggy on I-95. That's what you sound like. You want a beeper. I don't know what you're going to do with a beeper in 2023 because most people got smartphones. They texting you. You ain't text no beeper. So if you got a CD, man, you way antiquated, man. You like the Stone Age, man. You got to keep up. If you got a CD, no, you can get, you can even get a short-term annuity. You can get a 5. One guy called me and said, "Listen, man, I just want to put money inside of an annuity, but I want it for 5 years." I said, "Well, if you want to restrict it to 5 years, and there's a short-term one that gives you 5.5%." There's one that probably give you 6%, but you cannot lose. And the money that's in there grows until you take it out. See, all CDs, when you buy a CD, even though you don't collect the interest and you keep letting it roll over, you got to report that interest every year on your tax return. On an annuity, you don't have to report no income until you take the money out. So if you leave it in there, you don't pay no taxes. And then when you do start taking the distribution, it's not 100% taxable. Only part of it is taxable. Unlike CDs, all of that is reported to the IRS. Annuities, all of it is not reported to the IRS. There's a lot of advantages that people don't understand, but you got to get, like King Solomon says, in all you're getting, get understanding. You want wisdom, because if you get wisdom and understanding, you can get the thing, the effect, the cause. That's why I relate financial planning, prosperity, all that starts in the mind. What are you thinking? Why did you do that? Everything starts, the mind and thoughts is like having this, is the steering wheel of the car. If you turn it to the left, you going to the left. If you turn it to the right, you going to the right. How are you thinking? And some of y'all running around with no steering wheel. That's a problem.
Rob,
You're drifting.
What is the advantage to a younger person? Let's say, what is the advantage to a 30-year-old getting in a policy like annuity like this, and say a 60-year-old?
Well,
a disadvantage.
Well, a 60, it's better for a 60 or a 30-year-old. A 30-year-old, there's a whole lot of other things you can do. A 30-year-old, I would put them in the IUL, Index Universal Life. Mm-hmm. I would put them in there because you got longer time. You got longer time. And see, annuities, they're right up there with income. They're on the same aisle, the grocery aisle of shopping for investments. Annuities on the same category, and they're just a little better. They're on the same category as a pension. So you think about a 30-year-old, most 30-year-olds are not trying to get a pension because they still, like a squirrel, they still trying to gather their nuts. So they're not trying to retire at 30, or they're just not. And they're not collecting Social Security. So annuities is in that same aisle. Annuities for people who have put in a lot of time. They don't want their money going up and down. They can't afford to lose a penny, and they want more, and they want cash flow. That's the mindset.
Cash flow is so important.
Cash flow. When you're 30 years old, you still young, you still creating, you still growing. That's what you're doing. You're not, it's like a squirrel. A squirrel, when you're accumulating, you're gathering nuts. But you're not eating all your nuts because you're putting some nuts in the tree. So when wintertime come, i.e. when you're retired, you ain't got to come out here in the cold in the world. You can sit there in the tree and just feast off what you saved and what you put away for a long time. You don't have to go out there because you're retired and you're just eating, and it's going to be enough to last you for the rest of your life. That's the squirrel concept. So if you're 30 years old, you're still out there gathering nuts. So I would put you in something like an index IUL, or I'll put you in index funds, or, give you a little Apple, give you some growth stock, things like that. And I definitely would put you in some real estate.
Okay.
That's what I would
do. I've got to do this too, because you said something so important during the first hour. And that was, because I had a friend of mine, a real dear friend of mine. He was going to be transferring from one church to the church that I was attending at the time. And he kept telling me, hey man, James, I'm going to join, man, as soon as I get myself together. As soon as this morning you said something that was so profound. You said what I told him, brother, if you're waiting to get yourself together, you will never be coming here. I said, Dr. Carter, Dr. Matt King Carter, former pastor of Mount Olive Missionary Baptist Church, said, hey, this church is for sick people. This is a hospital. So, and if you go to that perfect place, he said, if you ever find that perfect church, don't go there because you're going to mess it up. So this morning you said, come as you are. And that was so important, Robert, because most people think, well, I want to ask some questions, or I want to see if I can do this. Right. But this and but that. Come on. Yeah, come on. Hey, who among us? What he said, you know, anybody among you is without sin. You
Right.
cast you
Cast
cast
the
the
first
first stone.
stone. That's right.
You
That's
throw
right.
the stone. Yeah. And when we looked around, there was only two people left. But uh, folks, we're saying to you that yes, knowledge is information. You know, understanding is discernment. You know, and that wisdom is application. So if you will call the Henderson Financial Group, ask, seek, and knock, you're going to be surprised because, hey, within all of us is greater and better. You know, and what we need to do is to hopefully take advantage of that so that we can be what we're purposed to be, and that is to be a blessing to one another. So the Henderson Financial Group is where you want to call.
And James, that's so important. That I'm glad you came back to recapture that. Because people, they think that they're embarrassed and they're ashamed. At the Henderson Financial Group, we're fiduciaries, and your situation is confidential. I don't care who referred you. I don't care if it's your mama or your daddy. When you talk to me, Henderson, it's like talking to your attorney. It's attorney-client privilege. It's like talking to, your doctor. Your doctor can't tell everybody else about, your diagnosis. It's called HIPAA, HIPAA laws. You just can't. Now you can tell everybody about, your stuff, but the doctor can't. That's how at the Henderson Financial Group, we're confidential. So there's a lot of people that won't go to a doctor because they embarrassed. But when you go to a doctor, you're supposed to be able to tell your doctor your inner fears and what's going on, and what's happening, so a doctor can help you. When you come to a financial counselor, you're supposed to be able to reveal, listen, man, doctor, I play the lotto every day. Henderson, I smoke weed every day. I spend $500 a week in weed, or I go to the strip club. You got to be able to feel that when you're talking to your financial planner, this is in confidence, and that's what we do. But you have to be able to put it all out there so I can defend you. You can't go to an attorney and not tell and lie to the attorney and want the attorney to defend you in court, because the attorney gonna find out, the prosecutor gonna have something that the attorney said you didn't tell me. So you got to be truthful. So part of being successful when you got a team and you're working with somebody is be transparent and tell them the truth. Listen, I'm an alcoholic. And then it's okay, this is what we got to do. We can't put you in the bar. We're gonna get you a job. We can't put you as a barmaid, or we can't do that because you're an alcoholic. You got to be honest and upfront. And we all got stuff. So you can't wait to go to the gym when you get fined, then you're gonna go to the gym. What you know? You can't wait to get well and be perfect. Then you go to the doctor. You go to the doctor because there's something bothering you. You go to the gym because you need somebody to help you, a personal trainer or whatever, to help you, to get better and get and accomplish your goal. It's the same thing about financial planning. It's sad that 60 to 70% of people don't have no coaches, no finance. You got to be able to talk to somebody and be honest in order for you to go to the next level. It ain't gonna fix it. It works if you work it, and it ain't gonna fix itself, and it ain't just gonna go away. A lot of people try to do that ostrich financial planning, put their head in the sand and think that since they don't see it, it ain't there. I said that earlier. Just because you don't see it don't mean it ain't there. And that's something.
When you said Rob, I said, now that's one he need to coin. Just because you don't see it does not mean it don't see you.
And that's what the guy said in jail. He like, man, I ain't see that, man. I didn't know they knew that, man. No, that man, you didn't see that camera on the telephone pole, did you? No, I didn't even look up there. You know what I mean? Man, just because you don't see it, that don't mean that it doesn't see you. You are being seen. Ain't no secrets. And what you do gonna show up. We didn't see you get drunk, but we see you drunk. We didn't see it. We didn't see you on crack, but we can look at you and see you been on something. You know what I mean? How you carry yourself, man, it's gonna show up. So when you start being honest with yourself and say, man, I'm sick and tired, man, I've had enough of this. Now I really, really want to get my financial house in order. And if you're listening to this show with James T and myself, that means it's something that you must do. So you got to call the Henderson Financial Group, whether it's, investing in that 32% annuity, learning more about it, getting more information, but you got to be proactive. You got to do something. It's a cause and effect. All of us live in this cause and effect world. You cannot avoid it. You are where you are because of what you said, done, or did, or some action you took. That's the only reason you're here. The only reason why James T and I are on this podcast. Because James T calls. He says, Robert, we got to move it here. I said, let's go. That's the only reason why we're here. That's the only reason why. Because I was on radio. James said, no. We got to go. We got to modernize and we got to reach more people. Amen. That's the only. It was James was a cause, and right now you see this effect.
Well, and the only way I can say that, Rob, is because you were the cause for me to be able to create and to develop and to build and to grow. And what both of us wanted to do was to have others,
right.
Hey, develop, grow, learn, and as you said earlier this morning, we are still learning, we are still growing, and we are still serving and giving. So. Hey, our time is up. We thank you for yours. I see Miss Donna Jarrett Mays checked in, and Miss Vickers says, this is good, guys. Wisdom is flowing. So, hey, we certainly hope that someone has been moved to make that change. And if you do just one thing for me, take a bad habit and find a good habit that you can replace that bad habit with. And watch your life change.
Oh man, that's beautiful, Jane. That's a step. That is a beginning of wisdom. They can do it. That's discipline too, right?
Yeah. Just take, hey, whatever one of them bad. We all got them. Yes, all right, Mr. Henderson. Hey, you have a great day today. I know you're going to that church.
Yeah, I'm going to meet Donna. Hey, James, Donna, Jared Mays. We huddling up. We teaming up. We going to church together, man. Dynamic duel, and we're going to present up in Fort Lauderdale, and we're going to talk about financial planning. We're going to talk about creating wealth, building wealth, tax-free retirement, and wills and trusts, understanding wills and trusts, man. We'll let you know. Matter of fact, we'll come back next week and check in and let everybody know, man. But it's a lot to learn, a lot to do. Good, better, best.
Never
let them rest until your good become your better. And what, James?
Your better becomes your best. Have a great day, everybody.
All right. Peace. Oh, James, you got to pray, man. You got to pray.
Father God, we humbly come before you at this time, thanking you, first of all, for this right now moment. For those who have listened, those who will, we pray that in some way you touch their hearts to seek wisdom, knowledge, and understanding so that they can grow. And if they're so moved, God, let them come to the Henderson Financial Group so that we can give of that you have been given us so that they can also become a blessing to others. And we promise if you will do this, that we'll give you all the praise. And it's in Jesus' name that we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much, bro. I love you.
Much love.
Much love. Have a fantastic weekend.
Alrighty.